supplements and things that I thought, like, oh, I'm going to take this cortisol cocktail and I was drinking a ton of coffee. I was doing everything I could, trying to fire myself back up.
Yeah.
And you made a comment to me and you just said, Gina, just stop taking everything that you're on because your body isn't absorbing it anyway. Yeah. And we need to just get back to the basics and take one thing at a time. Welcome to the 3 Women On podcast, your go-to for real talk on women's health, careers, family, and everything in between. Hey, welcome back to 3 Women On. A little while ago, we were having a conversation about blood sugar and cortisol, and I thought it was interesting, and we were like, hey, we need to do an episode on this. And so we're back.
We're back.
And we snuck it in. So blood sugar and cortisol, I'm super embarrassed. I see so much online. Cortisol face, cortisol belly.
Yeah.
Blood, you see all of this.
And I'm confused. And let's start at the basic. What is cortisol?
Yeah.
What is cortisol?
What is cortisol? Monica,
It's
what
not-
is cortisol?
It's not your sugar mama. Get it? So what is cortisol? Have any of you ever taken a corticosteroid?
No.
For or been on a steroid?
Sure.
Yeah.
Been on a steroid?
For
For what?
For a short amount of
inflammation.
time.
For inflammation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cortisol is our steroid hormone.
Oh.
So think about it. So you're saying you're seeing this cortisol belly or cortisol puffy, cortisol face, crazy. So if you're on a steroid, you don't want to be on a steroid for a long time, correct?
Yes, correct.
And that's for many reasons.
Right.
So steroids are given for anti-inflammatories, but they're given for short courses.
Yep.
Because you take it too long, it can switch a Rooney around.
Yep.
Okay. But what happens to a lot of people if they're on steroids for a long time?
They get puffy.
They get puffy.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. It's like the light bulb just went off.
Bada bing, bada boom, bada bang, bang, bang. Yeah. So cortisol is our steroid hormone. And then a lot of people, when they're on a steroid, they have a lot of energy, right? And they have trouble sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So cortisol is designed to be in a rhythm. And it's designed to wake us up in the morning.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we want our cortisol to be higher in the morning.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it tapers off through the day, afternoon and day. And then it should titrate down at night. So we go to
That's
sleep.
the ideal cycle.
That's the ideal cycle. If that cycle's wonky,
Yeah.
okay, it can throw our whole metabolism off, our sleep cycle off, you name it.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
So the
Yes.
3 a.m. wake up call.
The 3 a.m. way. And so, okay, so with cortisol and blood sugar, I love this. All right. We need glucose, sugar, for our cells to function, especially in the brain. So brain gets priority boarding, right? I call
Yes.
obviously we fly too much priority boarding, right? The brain cells are going to get priority boarding for glucose because if our brain dies,
Got it.
we die, right?
Yep.
Not a good deal. So if our blood sugar drops, our glucose drops, our liver has 8 hours of glycogen storage in it.
Okay.
It stores our energy for 8 hours.
Got it.
Okay.
That's probably not very long in the grand scheme of things, is it?
Well, if you think about it, if you eat dinner at 6 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
how many hours?
Right.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't have enough glucose, especially if you've eaten standard American diet where you've eaten pasta and bread and a lot of carbs.
Refined sugars. Yeah.
Refined sugar. And especially if you had that little after dinner before bed snack of a bowl of ice cream or Oreos or whatever, right? Your blood sugar is going to be wonky wonk.
Yes.
Okay. So come 2 a.m., we often call the 2 to 4, the 3 a.m. wake up call.
Yeah.
Blood sugar drops. What comes to save the day? Our adrenal glands to kick out cortisol. So
That's not a good-
And that's what you want us to wait. That's what we want to have fired up in the morning to
in the
wake us up.
morning,
We don't
not
want
at 3 in
not
the
at 3
morning.
a.m. Because so people often wake up and they're like, I went to the emergency room. I thought I was having a heart attack or a panic attack and anxiety because my chest was hurting so much. It's because you had such a surge.
Yeah.
Our cortisol is our stress hormone. It is our stress dude. You want it cranking at the right time, but you don't want it cranking all the time or at the inappropriate times. Because now, not
Right.
only are you getting this surge, your adrenal glands that are cranking it out, they start after a while. They're like, I can't keep up with you anymore.
Right.
What you might be hearing another buzzword, adrenal fatigue or adrenal
Yes,
exhaustion.
I have heard that. Yep.
Okay, so you see, it all goes together.
Yes.
And oftentimes, those that have adrenal fatigue or adrenal exhaustion, their adrenals are just tapped out
Yeah.
because of stress.
Mm-hmm.
Blood sugar imbalances is stress on your body. They also have the cortisol belly thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are doing the exact opposite. It drives me bonkers. They're doing the opposite, especially women. I hate to say it, because they're stressed about their cortisol belly.
Yeah.
And so what do? They stop eating.
Right.
Well, it's funny. I actually went to a talk on women's health, and one of the things they were talking about was the underfueled women of America.
It's so huge.
And if you're underfueled, that's causing more stress on your body.
Absolutely. And so it's
So it's the cyclical thing.
And what does the body do? It stores fat for energy.
Yeah.
And so now we're getting this cortisol kick, this cortisol belly plus storage of fat. And they're eating less and eating less and eating less. And they are some of the sickest, most unhealthiest women on the planet. And it's sad and it's scary.
Yeah.
And so as soon as all this cascade gets dysregulated, now your hormones are going to be off. And
Of course,
so lots of times people want to go and they want to do the patch kit thing, right? I call it the patch kit. They want to patch things up and they will say, well, then I need to just get my hormones in check. Well, it's not that simple. There's a lot of parts to it.
Yeah.
I haven't really talked about my story. And I know I could see that you're looking at me because this was exactly what I came to Monica for. And it was really bad. It's really, really scary. I mean, like, I just remember sitting in your office and crying because I was so tired.
Oh.
And you're right. I mean, like, I was gaining weight, which I never had gained. I mean, I never had this issue before. And I kept thinking, oh, it's perimenopause. It's whatever. And you guys, I was taking so many supplements and things that I thought, like, oh, I'm going to take this cortisol cocktail and I was drinking a ton of coffee. I was doing everything I could, trying to fire myself back up.
Yeah.
And you made a comment to me and you just said, Gina, just stop taking everything that you're on because your body isn't absorbing it anyway.
Yeah.
And we need to just get back to the basics and take one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Good memory. You remember? Yeah.
Well, I
remember
do,
that day.
and
I remember that day. Vividly.
Yes, and it's and it's a story that, like, go to my social media, it'll be on there. But it's it was interesting, and one of the things that you put me on, and there was other things going on too, was berberine.
Yeah, berberine is, and you guys kind of know that I kind of hammer this. I can be a little pushy. I mean, because I see what people need. I just see it every day, day in and day out in my practice. And I see women coming in and they are struggling, and it just breaks my heart because Gina you have so much to offer, and you have done so much for our community and so much great work. And to see women and struggling like that. And you know what? Women tend to be so hard on themselves, and they're like, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
I've got to not eat this, and I've got to load up on this. And then we do start loading
And what
up.
drastic measure can I do to fix it?
That's the thing, and then we load up, then you load up on the caffeine and you load up on the sugar, trying to get that energy. And it's just, and it's so sad because I see this cascade, and they're spiraling down instead of spiraling up.
Right.
So like I told you, let's start from scratch and let's start building your system back up and it's huge. And berberine, well, we did a berberine chromium mix because it's, I believe it is better, works together synergistically to especially the stress that people are under now.
Yes.
So this is not just regulating blood sugar, which is huge. It's hormones, it's adrenal glands, it's it's all the above to
Yeah.
get things into a
Cholesterol even.
Yeah.
Doesn't it help with cholesterol?
yeah,
a little
because
bit?
when you start when your blood sugar's off, now your liver is getting tapped out,
Yeah.
right? And so now cholesterol goes wonky. And so we tend to
all
find that.
related,
So
huh?
I'm
Yeah.
finding that so much more now. I'm finding people coming in and they're bringing in tests from other practitioners or whatever,
Yeah.
or I'll run tests and they'll freak out. Oh my gosh, what's going on with my liver? My liver. And sometimes I'm like, I see it day in and day out, more so now than ever.
Wow.
And so we use a product like berberine and chromium to start balancing out the system,
Right.
getting your life back, getting your energy back, getting your fuel back on a stable basis.
Yes.
Now I can balance hormones. Do not, and this is a pet peeve of mine. You can't just go. It's a whole system-wide thing. You can't just go and start doing hormone replacement therapy or those types of things unless you balance the system,
Yeah.
the roots of the system.
Well, I think that that's something that I don't know if our American practitioners really go for, is figuring out the root of the issue.
Yeah.
It's
Here, you've got the symptom, you've got this, you've got that.
it tends to be a checklist deal, and it's really it takes it takes extra study and extra time and understanding
Yeah.
what we call systems biology, how everything
Yep.
works together,
Yep.
and supporting the whole system.
Yeah. And it is a lot easier to address just
Sure.
one system, right? Without holistically looking at, okay, what is the whole impact? What is making that? Maybe it's something else,
Yeah, and so blood sugar is going to regulate hormones. That's why a product like this, you get multiple bangs for your buck, right? You get
Yes. That's what I keep
metabolic
thinking.
stabilization, but you get, berberine has been used for polycystic ovarian syndrome for,
Well, and what's also so interesting on the blood sugar side of things? I mean, if I just going back to my experience, according to my doc, like I had a low normal blood sugar. Like, I don't know, low normal. It wasn't optimal,
no.
but it was low normal. And so I
Oh.
if you're listening to this and you're and you're being told that everything is fine and you're fine, but in your heart that you're not, do a little bit more digging.
Yes. And that's a great point because we look at functional versus normal ranges. And what does that person need? What is optimum functional for levels that we need to see?
I like that word too, optimum. Like let's that's our goal, right? Like we want optimum function. We may not get to it, but just low to normal doesn't sound right to me. Like
No.
yeah, we're searching for
yes.
something better. We're searching especially when you're dealing with your health, your body, that impacts so much.
And, again, this is kind of, I had a lot of health issues in my younger years, and it was all because of everything we're talking about. So it's kind of, it is a little wet hen in my bucket there, but it can lead, especially women that are struggling with depression because of being told, well, your labs look normal, or, we can try to work your hormones, but that's not the base of what's going on. And not only does it affect brain chemistry, but it can be very frustrating and depressing to constantly be feeling terrible
And not have hope of something better,
Yeah.
right? Like that's got to be very, very frustrating.
So
And
that's
it's-
part of what Bioligent's built on, right? Hope.
Yes.
And it's got to be interesting. I mean, going back to what we're seeing on social media with the cortisol belly and the cortisol face, I mean, as a practitioner, you probably can see it in a woman a mile away.
Oh, I can walk in a room and
Yeah.
yes, something that's very disconcerting to me is going to high schools now and going to the younger population and seeing what I struggled with in my younger years. And you can see, I can see it a mile away.
And is it the stress? Is that
Yeah.
the stress that
Yeah.
they have to deal with? So berberine is going to help control or help manage blood sugar. What other things can we do to help cortisol levels? Are there other?
Adrenal support is a lot of times I use things in tandem. like I have with,
Yeah.
I'll use adrenal support
Okay.
to manage that stress.
Yep.
Probiotics are huge. There's some specific forms of probiotics. So when we talk about probiotics, we talk about what we call a genus, a species, and a strain. And the strains are really where they're so attractively in our research that we see. But we look at specific strains that we're looking at with the Bioligent products that help regulate brain chemistry.
Yes.
And
The
down-regulate stress and up-regulate mood. So again, so much of what we're doing with Bioligent is looking at how we can help a person build their optimum you, right?
Yes.
It balance their system out from a multiple
I
angle.
love that optimum you. That's what we all should be striving for.
Yeah. So so those of you out there, please, all three, I'm speaking maybe out of turn for all three of us, but we've all been in it had some health struggles and I think that's why we're so adamant about what we do, how we do it. And please don't give up hope if you're out there struggling.
Amen. That's why we're here. That's why we're here and we're doing what we're doing.
Because
it's very real
Gina's
for
a
us.
spitfire, man, and she has done so much for this community, and to see somebody not being able to live their optimum potential and then being able to live their optimum potential, that's where it's at.
It is.
But don't you think that as women, as moms, we always put ourselves in the back burner?
Sure.
Absolutely.
And the last thing that you want to do is go out and say, I'm not the best me.
Okay,
I am really struggling right now.
Yep.
And I think in turn it's kind of expected, especially, I don't have children of my own, but you both have amazing kids.
You can borrow some of ours.
I
Actually, you do. You do borrow some of my grandkids. Yeah.
I inherit kids, right? But I think maybe it's frowned upon to look at. Are you? I don't like to use the word failure, but are you not living up to mom status? And I just see it day in and day out, and it's heartbreaking. And it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't. One, we need to take care of ourselves first, knowing that we need to take care of us to be able to help others. But also just, we got to learn that perfection is not a reality.
Right. Yeah.
It's not.
So please don't starve yourself if you've got the cortisol belly. That's your body telling you.
Yeah, that's only going to make it worse. Yeah. It's going to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are other things. There's other solutions.
And protein, make sure you're getting enough nutrients. And protein is huge.
Yeah.
And protein, if protein and sugar hit the brain in the same way, so it just takes a little longer for protein to kick in. So sugar's got a faster fix to the brain, right?
Yeah.
And so then we start eating, craving sugar and stuff like that. So get your protein in you. Get on a good product where you can balance your blood sugar.
Yep.
And your adrenal support.
Yes.
We know what we're working on with adrenal support and stuff are very, very
important.
Carefully formulated products in order to help regulate all of that.
Perfect.
Great episode.
Yeah, really good. Good stuff.
And if you're listening to this and if you have a friend that might be in this boat, that you're noticing she's struggling, send her this episode. Love on her, because there's a lot of women out there that really, really need that right now.
And we're here to support other women.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Women supporting women. That's nothing better.
Yep.
Love it. Love it.
Hey, well, we will catch you guys next week. This was 3 Women On.